Good afternoon. Happy Sunday, everyone. It's Katie Joy from Without a Crystal Ball. I am dealing with a dog that won't stop barking. So if you hear a dog barking, I apologize. Anyways, let's get to the story. Make sure you give me a thumbs up on this video if you like it. Also, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you have not yet. And make sure you ring the bell so you know when I go live. All right, let's go. So there is this family on YouTube called the Ingham Family. And they apparently upload family vlogs with their kids daily, sometimes 2 to 3 times a day. The family has been on a vacation, and they are kind of notorious for, I don't know, exploiting the hell out of their kids. Over the years that they've been on YouTube, they've pretty much documented every damn thing their kids do. They even have one of their daughters having her own YouTube channel. The kids are the focal point of this channel, and the father last year was actually in trouble, you might remember, if you are familiar with this family. This family has 1.2 million followers and over 330 million views. This family is well known all over Britain and also notorious for doing things that make people upset. So, last year, they were actually in the news because multiple young girls in Britain came forward after they accused the father, Chris Ingham, who's 34 years old, of propositioning them and sending them inappropriate text messages, including messages to a 16-year-old girl asking her to sneak out of her house and meet up with him. He also asked another girl to drop her towel and send him a picture. Despite these people going to the police in London, for some reason, if you're 16 years old in London, it's okay for a man that's 34 years old to send a young girl a message to drop her towel. Sick. Multiple outlets reported this. This is all kind of went down in 2018, the summer of 2018. So this is kind of... Here's an example of some of the things that he said to this girl. So he sent a 16-year-old girl named Jess Simpson from Florida. He sent her a message on Twitter that says, "Bet I can make you feel a lot better about things, and I definitely want to stay in touch with you when we're back home." And then he said, "Trust me, I bet we have a lot in common. If you can sneak out without waking anyone, then definitely come meet me. I'm always up every night. I would say tonight, but I need to crack on with editing. If you're awake in an hour or two, ha." And then he sent her a message that said, "Are you home alone? I'm coming over for a party, contemplating skinny dipping in the pool." All of these were sent to a 16-year-old girl. So despite all of these Despite all of these text messages, he apparently didn't get in trouble. Gross. He denied that he sent them, even though people could determine that these were coming from him. And then to a 19-year-old girl named Bella, he promised that he could help her become a social media star. He said, "You're a proper, genuine person. I could tell that from the second we met this morning. You've got a real likability about you. So that, alongside with the fact that you're an easy eye, I reckon a YouTube and Instagram influencer would be a great thing for you. You clearly look after yourself, and you're super pretty, so you know. And I hope you don't mind me saying, but you have a banging body and you're super good looking. Anyway, bottom line, I like you, and I like helping people, and I have the powers and the people to help turn yourself into a massive role model to thousands on Instagram and maybe even YouTube." And then he said later, "Random question, have you ever had a dude come on to you at work, like when you're cleaning a room or anything like that? Something I always wondered about hotel workers, like propositioning you to come join them in their room." All of this to a 19-year-old girl, and he at the time was a married father of 3, and his wife was pregnant. He denied making these despite the claims that these women were able to verify that these actually came from him. They were able to verify that these were not doctored. He calls it defamation. They uploaded a video basically saying, we didn't do this. This is all lying. People are bullying us. And since this broke last summer, they have been sort of on this campaign of everyone bullies us. We're targeted. Nobody wants to watch our wholesome family values or our wholesome family stuff. And they've been under heat and taking criticism, rightfully so. There's a problem on YouTube with men and women, I suppose, but we hear about it more frequently with men, with using their influence, their social media influence, and their YouTube stardom to proposition and manipulate fans to get them to send photos. I think you can think of a few people that have actually gone to jail for doing this. And it's, anytime you have a platform that's unregulated like YouTube, where people can pretty much get 1 million followers just for getting something that goes viral, you're going to get stars that are able to use their fame for nefarious purposes. So he denies this all, obviously, and I just should say that, but there was a lot of compelling evidence. And the police actually saw all the messages, but basically said, based on London law, there's nothing they can do because she's over 16. In the United States, he would have been arrested. All right, so this is the latest. Now, leading up to what I'm going to show you, so here's what they're doing. They're on a excursion right now, and they're in Spain with their family. They have a 4-month-old baby. 4 months. 4 months. Little Jace is his name. Funny, Jace. I feel like all the babies are Jace or Jace or Jace. We talk about Jaces a lot on this channel, don't we? Anyway, it's not Jace Evans, all right? So, in this video, I'll show you just a quick little clip. The family, Sarah and Chris, and their 3 daughters go swimming in the water in the ocean, and they leave the 4-month-old unattended on the beach away from the shore. I'm not even lying.
So whilst Jace is strapped in his seat, fast asleep, we're getting some rare 5 seconds of family time right now in the sea.
So nice. Oh, I told you the baby. And sail.
So that's them swimming in the ocean while a 4-month-old baby is left completely unattended underneath a UV tent away from the shore, and they are a ways into the water. Now, to give you sort of a photo picture, this is what it looks like. So that's them in the water, and that tent with the circle on it is where the baby is, by himself at 4 months old. You can see why people would be a little bit outraged, right? People were outraged, right? To which they responded by saying, not a big deal. So that's them again. And she's, again, they're having to tread water. So they're deep enough in the water where they're not able to stand up. Most shorelines don't drop off that quickly. I mean, some do, but not many. So obviously they're far enough away to be in over their shoulders. And if they're like at least 5 feet tall, it would take, or 6 feet tall, or 5.5 feet tall, it would take a while just to get that deep far out. You can see that their daughters are having to use life preservers, and the baby is all the way back in there by himself, to which they said they were looking at him the whole time. And there was no possible way that the child was in danger ever, the entire time they were gone. Let's not forget that they were, there's other people on this beach. It literally would take 2 seconds for someone to snatch the child. He could choke, he could fall, none of that. And they would have to then swim out of the ocean and get to him and then help the baby. All right. So then she says, people need to mind their own business, to be fair, and stop making it their job to to criticize other. Jace was right in front of us. It looked farther away because we were filming on a wide angle on pro camera. Everyone who uses them knows how they make everything look too much farther away. We never took our eyes away from him, and he wasn't left alone. He was in front of us whilst we spent literally 10 minutes in the water cooling off. No need for drama. So even if it's 10 minutes, your baby is literally unattended on a beach while you're swimming under a tent with other people at a beach that could literally kidnap him, he could choke, he could get too hot, he could fall out of his seat. He wasn't strapped into that seat when you saw that in the photo. These people are really good at lying, right? So then this happened a couple days ago. And of course, now they're denying this. They're still on this trip, mind you, and they are like gallivanting all over Europe. And it's not uncommon in Europe for people to take like extended holidays in the summer. You'll see families going for like a month, maybe 6 weeks. They take long vacations. It's kind of common. I lived in Spain for a while. I saw that happening all the time. But this family seems to like literally vlog everything they're doing. These kids are always on the camera, always. It's almost like these children are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for their family. And they've made another one of their daughters a channel. And to capitalize on their family's like notoriety and like success, they recently had a baby, Jace, who's again 4 months old. They freaking lived the video of his birth on YouTube. Of course, why not put the video of his live birth on YouTube? And then after his birth, decided that they were going to monumentalize his birth by selling replica dolls of him. Can you see, now tell me which one you can figure out whether or not this photo is actually a side-by-side taken by BuzzFeed News, but can you tell me which one you think is the real one and which one you think is the fake Jace? Because you'd actually be shocked when you realize which one's the real one and which one's the fake one. So if you're looking at this, it's the one on the left in the blue shirt. That's the real baby. Baby with the Jace on it is the replica alive doll. They are selling this for £340 to their fans. So it's anywhere from $279 to £344. They're made by Mary Shortle. It's a soft-bodied size 19 inches out of England. It comes with 3 outfits, a hat, a dummy clip, nappies, birth certificate, gift bags, and pen. So the family was actually people were outraged by this. They're selling a limited edition of baby Jace so fans can take home their own baby Jace. Who does this? Who makes a baby out of your baby and then sells it to frickin' fans? And then who would buy this? And then to top it off, on top of all of this, they're giving the option of allowing people that buy these to actually do a meet and greet with them. And they will have tea where they will sign autographs and talk to their fans, to their super fans. So not only can you buy a baby doll that looks like Jace, but then you can have tea with the creepazoids. And when people had the audacity to be angry at them, they uploaded a video earlier in the week where they basically were threatening people for having the audacity to criticize them. I'll show you a little clip of that too. Sometimes I can't even believe this crap is even real. And they're doing the classic, everyone's bullying us. Well, when you have 1 million followers on YouTube, you should probably be smart about what you're doing.
Watching them also, it was a really, really amazing thing, and it still, for the most part, is today. Even back then, when we started doing all of this, YouTube itself felt like such a positive place to be. but I don't feel like it feels like that anymore. But nowadays, instead of being such a positive and fun thing, it's turned into something that, quite frankly, some days we absolutely dread. Some of you may already know this, but we have been the victims of some of the most severe, disgusting hate online for
Bullying.
a long time now. To the point where it's just absolutely blows your mind, the kind of stuff that people say about you online. Completely untrue, disgusting, defamatory, malicious, horrible things. And with just absolutely no care or consequence for the people that they hurt, for the person, for the family, for the children, for any of it, for the damage that people's words online can do. It's got so serious now that we've had to recently involve the police, who are now dealing with the people that are doing this most severely and frequently, of which a number of suspects have already been dealt with by the police and are now facing court action. Because of pending court action against these individuals, we aren't able to talk about this any further than that, other than just to say that it is happening. And just to say, the abuse online that we as a family, myself, our company receives daily is being dealt with. No matter how anonymous you might think you are with your fake accounts, fake names, none of you are untraceable. And in fact, you're very much not anonymous at all. It only takes one email, one tweet.
So apparently they've gotten so much hate that they've had to turn it over to police. And did you hear that threat he was telling people? Like, your sock accounts, don't scare us. You guys will be handled by police. How dare you? And this is all because people reported them to social services for selling replica babies of their baby. I don't know about you. I think that's weird. I mean, there's a lot of creepazoids, tons of you-know-whats that watch YouTube for purposes that we should not discuss. And then you're going to sell a baby that looks like your kid for fans for 340 pounds. I don't get it. And then when anyone has the audacity to tell you that maybe this isn't a good idea, everyone else is the bully. It's always funny how when people make these bad types of decisions, oh, you want to know how old these people are? He's 34. He looks way older than 34, and I think she's 30. Or maybe 30. No, she's 35, and he's 34. And they have a 12-year-old, a 9-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 4-month-old. And the 12-year-old has her own YouTube channel. Or maybe the 16-year-old. I don't know. And then I was actually looking at, some of their, thumbnails. And I thought it was kind of weird because some of their thumbnails looked kind of like they were almost trying to draw attention to, their daughter in a bikini. I don't know. What do you guys think of those thumbnails? A couple of them stand out to me, and they don't stand out to me in a good way, considering the kinds of people that are on YouTube and what they're looking for. And I'm not trying to be a prude. I'm just saying, children don't have a choice. Children aren't, these children are in the rights and the property, basically, of their parents until they are of legal age. I think it's pretty disgusting. And the family puts multiple videos up a day. They take sponsored vacations. It's clear that they're making a living by being on YouTube. So therefore, their children are working. But what does YouTube actually do about children working? Nothing. Not to mention, they are angry that people have the audacity to call them out, yet they're the ones that are capitalizing on their children to make a living and not allowing their children to really understand the magnitude of their entire lives being documented every single day for everyone to watch. It's absolutely exploitative of families to do this. I hate these kinds of channels. I don't understand why people watch these channels. I don't understand why there's not better regulations for channels that have children on them. They are supposed to have no YouTube said that they were going to be disabling comments on channels that have families on them. But let me just check on their videos to see if you can make comments on here. But on their videos, you literally can leave comments. So a new rule was put into place where if you had a child in a video, you no longer could leave comments or likes. But they're somehow getting around this loophole because people are able to leave comments on their videos. I don't understand how that's possible. I absolutely hate these channels so much. These kids don't even know what they're getting into. They don't even realize the magnitude of this. This is 1.2 million subscribers, 340 plus million views, and these kids are so young they don't even understand like long term what this means. These kids have no choice in the digital footprint that their parents are putting out for them. And then if anyone has the audacity to say maybe you guys aren't doing the best things for your children, they get mad, call them bullies, and call the cops. When people actually have screenshots that prove that he's doing things that are inappropriate with young girls, they're bullies, it's defamation. When they leave their baby unattended on a beach with nobody watching him and they're out swimming, they didn't keep their eyes off of him. He was totally safe the whole time. Plus, you guys, I don't know what the laws are in Europe for babies, but the kid is like forward facing in the car seat. I don't know what your laws are in Europe or in the UK, but man, you guys, if you allow forward facing babies in the car, that's ridiculous. Babies should always be backwards facing. I don't understand this whole dichotomy. And their car seats look weird. Like my car seat mom was like going crazy when I saw pictures of the kids. I just absolutely hate this kind of stuff. So I would like to know, I noticed that not a lot of people were talking about them. I saw this actually pop up in my, I get like alerts for stuff related to YouTube. And so it ended up coming out in my as an alert in my Google email. And that's how I found out about the story. And then I went on to their YouTube channel and I was like, God, this family's weird. All right. So do you agree with me? Do you think it's weird for families on YouTube to use YouTube as a platform for them to make money and then to use their kids as workers? Because I guarantee you these kids aren't getting paid. Do you think that's fair? Do you think there needs to be more protections in place for children if they're shown on YouTube? There's a reason why I don't show my son very frequently, and if he does, it happens by accident. I would never expect him to actually participate in this channel. I just think it's unnecessary, and I would like to protect him from the millions of people that can potentially see these videos. I might be in the minority, but I don't like this whole trend that happens on YouTube. And I think this family is doing some particularly weird things and then blaming everybody but themselves. So tell me, do you think YouTube makes it so that families will make their children they're basically slaves for work? What are your thoughts? Tell me in the comments. Bye, guys.